Let's shift our attention to the forecast. Meteorologist Melissa Magee is here now with that. Much cooler today, Melissa.
Yeah, really cooler, Carolyn, but very nice, comfortable conditions all the way through 70s and 80s for fall. Last day of September, first day of October. Here we go.
Yeah.
We are in the season, Carolyn. Let's talk about it and recap what's going on for the month of September, what we've seen so far in terms of the temperatures and in terms of being below average, above average, or right where we should be for this time of year. So the red is an indication of these numbers that have been well above average and hotter than normal. The blue, that's what we've seen of late. We've had 10 days for the month of September where temperatures were actually below average. That trend continued today. Downtown Los Angeles maxing out with a high temperature of 77. So cooler than average. We're looking at the numbers. San Bernardino in at 81. Palmdale today in at 80. Fullerton and Van Nuys in the upper 70s. And downtown Los Angeles only maxing out at 77. Average for us this time of year is about 81 degrees. So the below average trend continues really for the majority of the week. And I'm going to show you in just a minute why that is happening. Looking at the numbers tonight, 60s and 70s. We've got 70 in Santa Clarita, 72 in Ontario, 68 for the Basin. Oxnard right now coming in at 67 and 69 degrees there in Santa Ana. Satellite and radar looking at the big picture. We've got a mostly clear sky here in Southern California. Had a cold front that moved through earlier today. That front lifting off to our north. We've got a lot of rain out across the Pacific Northwest and Northern California. That moisture stays off to our north, but it does help to produce more clouds across our region and cooler than average conditions as well. We'll widen out the picture and then go off just to the south of the coast of Alaska here. Another trough of low pressure setting up across this region later on tonight and into our Wednesday. Already seeing that rain develop for the Pacific Northwest, for Washington, Oregon, and Northern California. Again, all of this stays away, but it helps to reinforce that cooler air over and over here in Southern California. So we'll have that once again tomorrow and even for the end of our work week here. So looking at high temperatures across the area for you on your Wednesday. We'll repeat the pattern, starting out with clouds and areas of patchy fog with a bit of a westerly wind, followed by some sunshine as we get into the afternoon hours. So Van Nuys in at 80, 78 degrees for the Basin. Remember, our average high is 81, so we're below average for the first day of October, by the way. 82 San Bernardino, Anaheim in at 79 tomorrow, Thousand Oaks 77, Oxnard, Ventura County coming in at 71 degrees. So let's fast forward. Futurecast showing you the pattern here. As you wake up on your Wednesday, we'll start it out with those clouds. We've got more of that onshore flow developing, but again, the clouds will disperse, especially as we get into our Wednesday afternoon. So we'll start it out with the clouds. The sun moves through by the afternoon. There are four things to watch for the rest of our work week, even as we press forward here. We've got a parade of storms, a series of storms out across the Pacific Northwest. Again, that moisture stays off to our north, but that's going to keep conditions and the cooler air around here in Southern California. Because of that, numbers stay below average. 70s and 80s on the way for the first few days of the new month of October. Still watching out for elevated surf and large breaking waves for some of our beach communities. So here's your forecast tomorrow for the Basin, Inland Orange County, and the coast. The Basin coming in at 78. Thursday for you in at 80 degrees. Then that trough moves in as we get into the tail end of our work week. So once we get into Friday, we'll cool it down again, and this will hold even as we get into our upcoming weekend, Saturday and Sunday. Lower 70s for the coast tomorrow, right through early next week. Remember, we do have large breaking waves, rip currents, a big concern for LA, Ventura counties, even Orange counties. Valleys tomorrow in at 80, 82 degrees for the Inland Empire. Then we're cooling down to the lower 80s for the IE as we head into our upcoming weekend. High desert, middle 80s on the way Wednesday and Thursday, cooling down to the 70s for our upcoming weekend. Not too bad for the low desert. 93 tomorrow, a lot of sunshine on the way. Lower 90s, upper 80s, even as we get into our weekend into early next week. Mountains, upper 60s for you Wednesday and Thursday. That trough reinforces the cooler air, and because of that, numbers knocked down into the upper 50s, and then overnight lows, really cold stuff. We're at the freezing mark, so at 32 degrees or below for those overnight low temperatures, but a lot of sun by the afternoon. That's your forecast. Carolyn, back over to you.
Thanks, Melissa.